Hey y'all! Pokemon Crystal using only one Phanpy was really fun, so this time let's do something a little different. This week, I'm going to indulge my inner teenage edgelord by beating Pokemon Crystal using only one Houndour. As usual, the rules are, I can only use Houndour in battle, and I can't use any trainer items in battle. By the way, if you like this kind of content and want to see more, be sure to subscribe and check out more of the videos on my channel. Houndour is a lovable dog with the spirit of the devil, kind of like my dog Bowser when he decides to tear up all of our mail. In terms of the actual viability, Houndour has decent enough move pool, but the stats are where things get dicey. 80 base special attack is really great for a Pokemon whose same type attack bonuses are both special, but this thing is so frail. One well-placed water type attack and Houndour is done for. Alright, let's do the dang thing. You got it! Off at Professor Elm's lab, I use the Universal Pokemon Randomizer to replace Cyndaquil with Houndour so that our rival will pick Totodile. While Feraligatr doesn't have the best special attack stat, it's still a good water-type Pokemon for Houndour to fight. Houndour is a dog that's all about burning in flames, so I nickname ours Sirius. How many Pokemon YouTubers you know out here making constellation puns, huh? Houndour starts off with just Ember and Leer, and Leer will never really get used, and Totodile resists fire, but having same type attack bonuses early in Ember is still really good. But even with a berry, we're just barely able to win because our defense is so bad. And this is going to be a problem for the rest of the run. But back at Professor Elm's lab, I made sure to give the police officer our rival's name, which of course is Bubs. Heading off to Violet City, I take on the flying type gym leader Faulkner. He actually uses Mud Slap for once, and it lowers our accuracy, but thankfully Houndour is a champ, and we hit all of our embers to win. Might not be a big deal to you, but Pokemon Red has me pretty traumatized from missing attacks because of Pidgey and Pidgeotto. After Faulkner is Bugsy, the Bug-type gym leader. Such a creative name, I know. And as you can imagine, Houndour has no trouble with Bugsy since we have Ember, which is great because normally, Scyther's Fury Cutter is very problematic. We also have Smog, but that's a horrible poison-type move, and I shan't be using it. Not at all. After winning the badge, I immediately get accosted by the rival Bubs once again. Remember how I said I wasn't going to be using Leer? Yeah, JK, I need it this time to deal with the Croconaw. I picked up the TM for Swift inside of Union Cave, taught to Houndour, so the Leer and Swift combo helps take out the Croconaw, with a little accuracy help from Mud Slap, of course. And if using Mud Slap annoys you, just wait. This run gets a lot cheekier. Yeah. Next up is the Goldenrod City Gym battle with Whitney and her famous Miltank. And Rollout is not only super effective, but super strong. Mud Slap accuracy drops are helpful, but so are flinch chances from Bite, which is also same type attack boosted for being Dark type. Even so, it takes me ages to beat Whitney because Miltank has the eyesight of an Elven Archer. Off in Ecruteak City, I head to the Burnt Tower where I have to beat up Bubs, but this rival fight, it's not nearly as bad as the one with Phanpy. A Paralyzed Cure Berry helps get past the Haunter, and we need at least one flinch on the Croconaw in order to win, but it does take a couple of tries, between lack of flinches and Haunter going for Curse, but we get through it relatively easily. It's certainly not the worst of the battles yet to come. Next up is the Ghost-type gym leader Morty, and Houndour is the exception to the rule, because normally Morty is a hard-fought battle, but Bite mops the floor with his team. It's amazing how much of a difference a single move can make, especially since I'm often going to be fighting Morty with only Mud Slap. Even worse is the Stantler run that's coming out in a couple of weeks. That one was a nightmare. And I say nightmare to purposely foreshadow, not to make ghost puns, although it kind of works for both. I'd like to take on Jasmine right now, but I cannot beat Chuck's fighting type gym. So best I can do is take on Price. And it's actually a tough battle because, despite being the ice type gym leader, 2 of his 3 Pokemon are part water types. It takes a couple of bite flinches for us to win, and remember it's only 20%. And at the end of the battle we learn Flamethrower, which is definitely not something I could have used at the beginning of the battle, but you know what, that's fine. I'm not mad. Do I sound mad? I shouldn't, cause I'm fine. Despite being a much higher level, Houndour still struggles with Chuck. Kind of a lot. Flamethrower 1-hit KOs the Primate, but the Poliwrath resists both our Fire and Dark-type attacks. Plus it has Surf and Dynamic Punch, both of which 1-hit KO our Houndour. So just in time for Valentine's Day, Houndour is winning with the power of Seduction. That's right, Attract. Kind of a degenerate strategy, I know, but I don't want to keep wasting time in levels when I know that I can beat Jasmine already. Flamethrower is super strong and all of her Steel-type Pokemon are weak to it, so we could have done this at a much lower level, but Chuck is just a huge roadblock. Towards the end of the Team Rocket Radio Tower anime arc, we take on the rival in the basement underground, and you would think his Feraligatr would be the biggest issue, but it usually goes for Rage instead of Water Gun. The Golbat's the problem, because it always goes for Confuse Ray, and Houndour is always severely confused. I had to try this one a lot, because Houndour kept bashing itself in the face. Alright, last Johto Gym Leader, the Dragon Leader Claire, and this one was bad. Between all our Pokemon having Surf, and also Thunder Wave paralysis, Houndour just wasn't strong enough to win at this level. 5 levels later, we're able to 1-KO the Dragonairs with Crunch, so we can actually take a Surf from Kingdra without getting knocked out. I could have used Attract to lure her Pokemon into a love-driven stupor, but all of Claire's Pokemon are female, and Game Freak likes to perpetuate heteronormative social constructs. Not cool, Game Freak from 20 years ago. Super not cool. But before the Elite Four, we traverse Victory Road to beat up our rival Bubs one last time. And this time, despite the fact that his Pokemon are a higher level and several of them are also evolved, Houndour takes them all down like it ain't even a thing. The Feraligatr is the only Pokemon that isn't a 1-KO, but it only has Water Gun, and we're a high enough level that it doesn't really matter. But don't get too comfortable yet, because Houndour's supremacy does not last much longer. It's time for the Elite Four, and here are the stats and moves. I'll be alternating between the Black Glasses and Charcoal as held items, which boost Dark-type and Fire-type moves respectively. The moves are the same, because I'm finding that Houndour is a total glass cannon. We either 1-KO or get wrecked in return. Up first is Will, the Psychic-type trainer, and this battle's easy for Houndour. We're Dark-type, and we've got the Black Glasses boosting our Crunch, so we straight up 1-KO his entire team. We probably could have done this at an even lower level if we didn't have to be at such a high level in order to beat Claire. That's the thing about these challenges. Unless a Pokemon is just obscenely awful, many times there are just 1 or 2 trainers that totally derail the entire minimum level thing. I genuinely believe that I could have beaten Will at his own level, like let's say level 41, but because of all the battles we had before, we're at level 53. Not that that's a bad thing, because we're going to need all the levels we can get later for Red. Next up is Koga, and despite the fact that a lot of his Pokemon are weak to fire, his Muck and Crobat are a problem because of evasion. So obviously, deleting a move like Feint Attack that never misses is kinda stupid, right? Well, no. Sunny Day boosting our Flamethrower by 50% is invaluable. And plus, I peeked ahead and I know that I'm gonna need Sunny Day anyways later in the run. So, figured I'll just teach it now. The raw firepower of Charcoal plus Sun boosted Flamethrower cannot be overstated. Otherwise, Crobat comes out and uses Toxic to badly poison Houndour, and that's usually a loss, because we take way too long to knock out his Pokemon with Feint Attack. But with the firepower of Sun boosted Flamethrower, we can get through before he has enough time to rack up damage. Still, this is a good example of a battle where previously against Will, we could have beat him at level 41, but here we definitely need to be the level we are, because we need all the firepower that we can get. After Koga is Bruno, a surprisingly decent trainer, and particularly difficult for Houndour since we're weak to fighting. Plus, Hitmontop has Dig and can dodge our moves, so I have to use Attract twice during this battle, but I only do it twice. First is to be able to set up Sunny Day against the Hitmontop without it going for Dig. With the Charcoal boost and the Sun boost, Flamethrower is able to 1-KO most of Bruno's Pokemon. Hitmonchan's Mach Punch has increased priority, so there's no way for us to avoid it, and it's guaranteed damage, and it does a lot of damage because our health is poor. Enough that there's no way we can survive a Cross Chop from Machamp, and Machamp is the one Pokemon that we can't one-hit KO with Sun-boosted Flamethrower. Even at full health, we can't survive a Cross Chop, and that's despite the fact that it has a high chance to critical hit, so Attract is 100% necessary in order to win. I know it's a degenerate strategy, and I try to avoid using it whenever possible, believe me, I'm trying. Next up is the highly quoted Elite Four member, Karen the Dark-type trainer, and despite her name, she's awful for an entirely different reason. And I hate her. This battle shows you nothing of the pain and struggle I went through. Even with using Attract on the Umbreon, I had to do this battle over and over. Seriously, Umbreon spams Sand Attack and we constantly miss our attacks. And even when we do hit our attacks, this battle is still hard. Houndour resists all of our attacks and is much stronger, so we're losing the damage trade-off. God, even with a critical hit, we can't knock this Houndour out. It's awful. I had to try this battle for hours on end, and I'm totally over it. But once the Houndour goes down, the last 2 Pokemon are a formality, because we can knock them out in one hit, and I'm allowed to move on with my life. But don't get too excited, because last up is the champion battle with Lance, and I tried this one many times before deciding to use the last of our rare candies. And even with the extra levels, it doesn't really help. Any single one of his Pokemon can knock out Houndour like it's nothing. So, here's the deal. I'm not willing to leave the Elite Four, grind up a bunch of levels just to beat Lance, only to then completely demolish the Kanto gym leaders like it's nothing. So I'm going to do things the hard way, and win with Attract, and it may seem cheap, but it comes at a cost. A week. A whole week, no exaggeration, an entire week, just to beat this stupid battle. You're not seeing every single battle it took, obviously, and this was hands down the most difficult battle I've ever done, besides Scyther versus Agatha in Red, and please check out that video after this one if you haven't, because otherwise, what's the point of my suffering? Literally, I have to get to the last Dragonite with full health in order to win this battle, because Outrage does that much damage. That's 13 turns in a row I have to go without taking damage. 13! I calculated the odds of winning this battle, and no joke, it's roughly 1 in a million. So, is this a good example of Houndour's strength? No. But the point of this video is not to prove that Houndour is a good Pokemon. The point of this video is to try to beat the game at as low a level as possible. So, here we are. Fight me in the comments, I don't care. You know nothing of my pain and suffering. I've been doing these videos non-stop for the past year, and at a certain point, you just gotta say, enough's enough, and decide how much am I willing to put up with today. I don't even know what I would have done had the Houndour that we picked at the beginning been a male, because then Attract wouldn't even work. But, as they say, Hakuna Matata, put the past behind you, and with the Elite Four defeated, we have made our way into the Hall of Fame. But the run isn't over yet. I'm always going to consider beating Trainer Red as the true ending of the challenge, unless a Pokemon is just impossibly bad, and we might be there right now. I almost considered ending this one here, but instead I just walked away from the game for a couple of days to cool off. I make my way over to Kanto, do a bunch of plot, beat up the embarrassingly weak Kanto gym leaders, and then take on the final Kanto gym leader, Blue. But just because the other gym leaders weren't a problem doesn't mean this was easy, because Blue has good Pokemon and he actually knows how to fight. This one was really bad, especially because of Rhydon. It kept wrecking us with Earthquake, and it wasn't until I replaced Attract with Solar Beam that we were able to win. Honestly, after the ordeal with Lance, I'm kind of happy to be done with Attract. It doesn't make me feel happy, and it's really annoying and difficult and completely random. But we use a cool strategy here, where we get to use Sunny Day to counteract the Gyarados' Rain Dance, which not only weakens the power of Hydro Pump, but Solar Beam doesn't require a turn to charge in the sunlight. This lets us knock out the Rhydon without taking an Earthquake. We need all the health we can get, as you see 2 extreme speeds almost knock us out, but the rest of his Pokemon are 1 KO, and we're able to win at level 68. With all 16 gym badges, we can finally enter Mount Silver to take on the final boss, Red. Despite being at the perfect level, we are completely outclassed. Blastoise and Snorlax in particular are very troublesome for the little Hellhound. We can get to the Snorlax consistently, but we take so much damage by that point from Blastoise that a single Body Slam takes us out before we even get the chance to do anything, really. Plus, even if we get a lucky critical hit and don't take damage from Blastoise, Body Slam has a chance to paralyze, and that happened a couple of times. Snorlax is just way too bulky. I tried this again at level 77. Yeah, a lot of grinding. Blastoise is still able to survive a Solar Beam, so we're taking damage from Surf even in the sun. Snorlax is still a huge fat fatty, and I can't get past it, and even worse, it doubles its special defense with Amnesia, and most of the time I get paralyzed by Body Slam for my troubles. Even with the Sun Boost, and no Amnesia, we can't even do half of Snorlax's health with Flamethrower. Not even half. So I go and I grind, and now I'm back again at level 84. 15 levels higher than when we originally got here. And yeah, that's a lot of grinding. Even with 15 more levels, Blastoise is still able to survive a Solar Beam, but that's not the big issue. More importantly, Flamethrower in the Sun is finally a 2 KO on the Snorlax, but it's a damage range, meaning we just need to not get paralyzed by a Body Slam, and also get a good roll, and we'll be good to go. Coincidentally on this run, even though the Snorlax doubled its special defense with Amnesia, we also got a Burn, which halves Body Slam's damage. So it all worked out, I guess. I don't even know what's going on anymore. I'm just kind of along for the ride, and I'm not questioning things anymore. Charizard's Flamethrower in the Sun brings us down super low, but once it goes down, it's just a single Flamethrower on the Venusaur to win the battle and end my misery. And with that, the challenge is over, so roll the cutest credits in any Pokemon game ever. You know, Houndour is apparently an ill omen of things to come, and that makes a lot of sense considering how much trouble we had at the end of this run. Well, as always, I want to thank you for making it to the end of this video. These videos are a lot of fun, but also a lot of work, so I really do appreciate it. There's a playlist on my channel where you can find the rest of my Pokemon Challenge videos if you want to check those out as well. And if you like this kind of content and want to see more, subscribe and enable notifications so you'll know right away the next time one of these episodes is uploaded. And let me know in the comments what other Pokemon you want to see, and I'll probably do it. Next week is beating Pokemon Red using only one Staryu. Don't worry, I'm not abandoning Johto, but I do want to finish Kanto, so I'm going to do 2 Johto, 1 Kanto for a while until we finish. Anyways, until next time, bye!